Hello and welcome back to the Wheel Brick. Today we'll be checking out the LEGO Technic Lunar Outpost Moon Rover. This is set 42211, has 1,082 pieces in it. It's rated 10 plus and it retails for $100 in the US. Looking at the front of the box here, we have the main rover. We have a little rover over here collecting some space rocks. We have this capsule, put the space rocks in, and then we have a little rover over here, and then we have the space logo banner here that is from the 2024 series carried on to the 2025 series. Top here we have a side view along with a one-to-one of the wheel, and then before you were to flip the box over, you can see more of the features and the rover here all collapsed down along with the open capsule with the rocks and the two rovers. So let's get into building it. Inside the box we have 11 numbered bags. We have 3 instruction manuals, which is kind of cool because you could probably build together. You have a sticker sheet here and then 4 loose pieces. So let's get into it. Here is the completed model on this Lunar Outpost rover. There's quite a few features, so let's get into it. So first, a little background on this because it's kind of being misunderstood with the Lunar Outpost branding on it. Lunar Outpost is a company headquartered and founded in Golden, Colorado, and I actually have their mission statement here. Lunar Outpost is enabling a substantial human presence on other planetary bodies. So they're trying to make it more accessible to the general public. So actually with this big rover part here, this is just a fictional model. This is the only real rover that they have currently. I don't know if they're going to do a rover like this in the future, but this is the only one. This is the only thing that makes the set licensed, which I think is interesting because this does not have any Lunar Outpost branding on it like this does in this little cargo thing over here. This little rover only has working suspension, and then it's got these little antennas on there with a cockpit represented by these slope tiles. You got some solar panels on the side with another antenna, and that is about it. Also, there is no place to store this little rover on this big rover. So let's get into the actual big rover. First up on this rover, we have a steering knob back here, hand of God steering knob, and it turns the wheels like so. The wheels here also have working suspension, so I will show that with this container. And you can see the wheel over here is completely touching my desk while this is way up in the air. And the back suspension also has the same thing. So this wheel is touching and this one is touching the raised surface. Another thing I think is interesting is these wheels with the tracks. They have these track pieces just like a construction excavator would be, or like a bulldozer or something, but they have these extra little blue things on there to help gain traction. And on like a carpet surface, it would not be making a bunch of racket, but if you did it on a smooth surface like I'm about to do, listen to it. Quite loud. I also did think that this was going to be pretty hard to roll around on a smooth surface because usually these track pieces, they just slide. But here it does it really well again because you have these extra traction blue pieces on there. Now let's get into the actual cargo so I can show the rest of this rover better without stuff falling off of it. So back here, there's a knob, and if I were to turn it, you can see a crane starts to deploy. We'll go all the way up like that. And then moving up here, we have another knob back in here, and that deploys this part of the crane, and it goes out like so. And then you can see these kind of ball things on the top of these two things of cargo. If I were to spin this around and put the crane into the right spot, do like so, you can see how it kind of picked it up there. And now I can actually pick up this other rover, spin it around like so, and put it onto the ground, which I think is really, really neat. And that's the same for this other side, so I'll go ahead and speed that portion up. Now we have all of the cargo unloaded. Before I get into the cargo, I'm going to show a little bit more on this rover. On the front, there's no cockpit. This is more of a LiDAR sensor setup because this is supposed to be an autonomous rover. And so you can see the sensors in here, and then it kind of has like a little head thing here, and then you have some antennas like right here and also right here. There's a cool little feature in here. If I were to press this little red knob here, you can see some solar panels deploy. And these solar panels can be used while you're on the moon doing a mission to recharge the actual rover as it goes. And then if I were to hit this again and go up, the solar panels will go back into its resting place. Moving on down the rover, you can see the Lunar Outpost branding on it, and then the two trays here where you put the cargo in here. And also this cargo, this one can be on this side or this side. It's the same on both sides. Same with the rover. You don't have to put the rover on this side. You can put it over here if you so choose to. And then moving on back, of course, we have the crane that spins 365 degrees. And then the knobs, like I was showing before, to go up and down. And then this knob up and down. And this actually does fold up into a certain spot. So if I were to turn this dial and I were to turn this dial down, you can see these little balls here. If I were to put that down, there's a little slot in here, and that's how it goes in, and so it does not move around, which I think is really neat. Let's take a look at the cargo. First up, we have this capsule here, and we have an opening door, and on the door we have Lunar Outpost branding, and so the same on the other side. Anyways, opening it up, we have some moon rock and moon crystals in here, which will be grabbed and picked up by this rover. I'll show that here in a little bit. And then you can put the door back up, and of course you got this ball on top to have the crane pick it up, and that is about it with this capsule. Moving on to the rover here. So this rover has the Lunar Outpost branding kind of engraved in here, but it is a sticker. You roll it around on the moon, it's got working tracks, and then you have this knob back here to make it go up or down. And then you push this in, and it actually opens up a grabber to grab the moon rocks. So the moon rocks that are in here, you can grab with this. So if you're on the moon's surface, it's going to be kind of difficult to show here, but I'm going to take a few of these moon rocks out just with my hand. Put them in my palm of my hand, and if I were to push this open, I can put them in here, and then they can pick it up, grab it, and then you can bring it up to here, go up, push the little thing in, put it in the capsule, and then bring it back, and there we are. We can put the rocks into the capsule. Taking a look at the actual rocks, we have three different variants here. We have this kind of gray looking ball. We have a tan one in here also, and then we have a little purple bluish crystal as well. I did want to point out everything you see in terms of graphics is stickers, except for in here you got a little brick moon looking graphic, and this is a print. Here is the rover next to my LT-80 moon rover, my LT-78 moon rover, which this is more comparable in size to this one. This one is a bigger rover, and then we have the Mars Perseverance rover. This rover back here and the LT-78 rover, these two are not licensed. These are licensed. This is, of course, the NASA Perseverance licensing, and then this is the Lunar Outpost licensing. In terms of features, this one and this one are probably the closest in terms of feature-wise because it hauls a load. It's got an onboard crane. This has an onboard crane and an onboard load. In terms of price, this retails for $50 more than this does. This and this is the same price and about the same piece count. Interestingly, this is actually the same price and similar piece count to the Mars Perseverance rover, but the Mars Perseverance rover is quite a bit bigger than the Lunar Outpost rover. It's more tall than it is long. It's about the same length, but it is taller. What are my finishing thoughts? I think this is a great rover and a great Technic set all in all, and I think it is a great value for what you get. It is a license thing. The licensing is kind of misunderstood because this is the only licensed real vehicle. This is not a real vehicle or a real rover in terms of the Lunar Outpost. The only rover that exists is this little one here. But I do think it is really cool that they kind of made a fictional version of a licensed set, if you know what I mean. I do like you have this onboard crane that can pick up the cargo off of the actual Rover. I do like that you can interchange it, so if you want the Rover over here and the cargo over here, or you can switch it back and put this over here and this over here. I also do like the coloring on this, because I believe the only other time we get colors like this is on Lego Education, and obviously that is a lot more expensive and it's only really made for educational purposes. This is more of a mainline set, but it's also kind of a science set, so I do like the color usage on this. What it kind of actually reminds me of is BMW M for the color scheme. You can see the white, the red, and the blue, which BMW M also has white, red, and blue. As for the price, $100 in the US, I think you're getting a lot for your money here in terms of the features, a more rare color scheme, and this kind of different style Rover than we've gotten in the last few years with more autonomous style looking Rover. And it's actually pretty good size in terms of dimensions, and it does feel high quality. It does feel more of a heavy Rover, and I don't think you'll be disappointed if you like moon rovers and the Technic series or space or Lego in general. Those are my thoughts. Let me know yours. Put them down in the comments. Make sure to subscribe to the Wheel Brick. Follow the Wheel Brick on Instagram if you like this sort of content, like this video, and I will see you next video.